Clint here, Crimson Landscape, here to talk about your front yard design. This looks pretty legit, I must admit. This looks nice. This took me about 2 hours a day to get this right, to get all the specs right, the layout right. So I got significant design time in this one. Okay, let's talk about location of the wall. So I did the wall parallel with the city sidewalk. So you can see the right side is certainly bigger than the left side. If you look at the monument or the pedestals, you see the pedestal here and the pedestal here, those are square with the walk path. They're not squared off the wall. So you can see it this way, you see it's squared off the walk path and it angles. You just kind of have to do that. Because the walk path to the door is squared off the house, I have to have this monument or the pedestal squared off the concrete. I can't square it off the wall. So that's the only little bitty nuance that you'll see. I don't think anybody will notice it, but I think it looks quite good. Added the two bowls on top. There's a couple flavors of concrete bowls we could pick. A couple ways we can do it, and of course seasonal flowers or something like that in there. In the front, just a couple options for the plants in front for the boxwoods. I went with the larger boxwood. We certainly can go with the smaller boxwood with like a mondo grass in front of it. Real popular look down in Highland Park. So the brick, this little brick would match this brick here if we can find more of the brick. So it's kind of a homage to the original classic style of the house. Don't sweat the plants at the moment. We'll get into the nuances on that. I think this wall, it's about 16 inches tall, maybe a smidge taller. We'll just have to figure out what makes the most sense. We don't have to have a permit for the wall, but we do have to have a permit for the walk path because the City of Highland Park requires it for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. So we might as well pull a permit for everything. They may not even require it. We don't know. The thing about Highland Park is they really don't want to talk to you. And they don't talk to you quickly unless you have a permit in the system. Gravel down the side here, just expanding the usable space for getting in and out of cars. I didn't put plants here. I didn't think it made sense to put plants here. I think maximizing this space for guests and for unloading stuff is more important. A little bit simpler walk path on the sides here. You can see how I finished the wall into the sides. I didn't do the nice pedestals over here. Just didn't make sense because you really wouldn't see them. Then a more of a simple walk path up to the front door. I did make the front beds bigger, so this pad is bigger compared to my last design. And of course landscape, a little landscape here, then of course the big trees. I think this is a really pretty design. You can't beat it. I don't have a cost on this. We'd have to talk to the mason to see what he wants to do, see what he would charge to build a reinforced brick retaining wall here. It's quite a bit more labor to do the reinforced brick because the way you have to anchor the wall and build the wall for structural rigidity. Another option is we do it in concrete. We do a concrete wall, then we do a brick veneer on top of the concrete wall, then we paint the brick veneer. That's another option as well. I just have to look at the cost and the structural rigidity of the both to see which one makes the most sense. This is not a huge wall, so we're not retaining a significant amount of material. But the last bit of it is, because it's painted brick, we may want to put a little bed up here, like a small bed on top, even just a simple gravel bed, and maybe we can just space out some liripe so it looks nice and cool all the way around. Because just line trimming or using a weed eater against the brick is not good for the brick. I think that's about it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this message because really all we're trying to narrow down is this the look you really like? And we can get in the weeds on what it's going to take to install. But from a standout Shazam, this really looks good. I don't think you can beat this one. I think this looks pretty legit. I showed my wife, and she really, really, really liked this one. Out of everything I've done so far for your property, she said by far this is it. And of course, this is going to be out of all the designs, this will be the one that will be the most complicated, just because of the steps involved. All right, let me pause here and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Oh, if you're a first-time guest in one of our videos, you can check us out at crimsonlandscape.com.